Hello there, welcome to the Business Weekly Show here on Citi TV. My name is Michael Obedu. Hope you're ready with us as we bring you all the business news that made headlines this week. Ready? Let's go. How many times have your lights gone off so far this week? How are you coping with it? Fellow Ghanaians, we must develop tough skin for the blackouts because they will continue for the next 5 months. Please go and dust your old rechargeable lights because you'll be needing them for a while. But why will it take that long for the Ghana Grid Company to finish this system upgrade of theirs that is causing all of these power outages?
Gridco had earlier indicated that it was working on a system upgrade to improve service delivery. The company also announced that the upgrade will come with some intermittent disruption in power supply. Subsequently, there have been power outages in various parts of the country, with many wondering if the days of erratic power supply, popularly known as doomsday, was back. But speaking to the media during an inspection of one of Gridco's sites, the Energy Minister, Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, called on Ghanaians to bear with the company as it works in the interest of the public.
We have systems where lights are flickering, voltages are low, and sometimes, like it happened over the weekend, the line is down because the conductor has broken. And that is exactly why we have what we are here today, the system upgrade that is ongoing. And so the challenges is what we are dealing with. And all I can say is plead with Ghanaians to be forbearing and would come out of the problem.
He also dismissed suggestions that Ghana has returned to the period of constant power outages, popularly referred to as doomsday.
In 2016, the whole country, they gave us periods that we were off and we were on. In 2016, the government of the day told us that it was a generation problem. In 2016, even the opposition talked about the government not having money to buy fuel. This is not a generation problem. This is not about fuel. So how could it be doomsday? Doomsday is planned and the timetable is rolled out. And it affected the whole country for 4 years. Is that what we are seeing? No. Some of the system, because of the challenges, the reason why the system upgrades are being done is what we are feeling. And so we have to bear with the contractors to finish in time so that we can enjoy the improvement we so deserve.
Meanwhile, the Director of System Operations at Gridco says the system upgrade will prevent outages like what happened over the weekend.
The transfer capacity between Volta substation in Temahia and Accra, it will increase it from about 400 megawatts to about 1,900 megawatts. This is more than 4 times. What this gives us is what we call redundancy. If you have such high capacity, it means that you can take off any of the adjacent lines and nobody will feel that something has happened in the system. Currently, if there is any fault on one of the lines, we might have to take off load maybe in Accra East, East Legon, or somewhere near Achimota. But when this line is completed, because of the high capacity, even if any other line goes off, it is still able to work and supply the load.
John Owusu-Efriye, Director Engineering Projects at Gridco, also assured that the system upgrade should be completed in the next 5 months.
If you do not have any hindrances, then we are going to complete it by September 2021.
So what it means is that there will still be outages.
Yeah, as I've already indicated, maybe we'll not be able to go there. Whenever we are constructing a line like this, we normally meet some crossings like ECG lines and also maybe sometimes obstacles like houses. But for the ECG line, because it is also an electrical system, we must make sure that we give an outage to be able to cross the line.
Light off power until September. Hey, it no go easy. Just one night of it last week and come and see sweating. While I am complaining of heat, others have bigger issues to lament about. The power issues are already destroying equipment for businesses in Kumasi. That is more like double trouble. For For many, the system managers have to release a timetable immediately.
Recently, inhabitants of the Ashanti region have been experiencing unannounced power outages in many parts of the region. The Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Grid Company, Gridco, Jonathan Amwakuba, in a recent visit to the region, attributed it to a planned nationwide maintenance exercise being carried out by its outfits. While Gridco says the nationwide intermittent power outages are expected to be over in September, ECG officials on the other hand say the outages in the Ashanti region will likely end in December. Some inhabitants in the region say the power fluctuations have badly affected them and have thus called on authorities to release a load shedding timetable.
It's affecting us so much because you'll be working and unexpectedly the light will be off. In the house, most of our gadgets are getting spoiled. Me, myself, my telly is spoiled. So it's a problem. For us, it's a problem and we don't know what is going on. If we are in the era of doom, so at least they should tell us so that we also plan and organize ourselves. They should tell us the time the lights will be off so that we'll put our things off. Other than spoiling the things and then putting the light off unexpectedly. It's affecting us so much.
Na light is something there. Nyame no kwani. Pa. Me say that was Sunday. You do na no pa be 6:30. Omo board train omo soye. After 3 o'clock no, na omo say 2 no. 4 o'clock no omo soye. Na you go 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock you demand for say 9 to 10 off. Ya so pioma be amachi 5 o'clock no omo soye. Heat. Ye bre, ye srem mo kan che president say ye bre. Ye be adwuma ma sa asafo. Ye adwuma ye bana betren wa dum so sa. That was last week Monday, the whole day off ye ntumi anya adwuma na esa kofi. Nti e be sra aban ni mpanimfo no say ye sra sa light do no ana so off no ma asan aba. Omo boy kai na ehun say bia time say be so time say ye bedum no na ehun say na isa the time stable na those time no na ye ka da time stable no say asan aba mo menyan awe.
Business operators who use electricity on a daily basis say they are among those who have been worst affected. They believe getting a load shedding timetable will help them plan their activities ahead of time and will ensure they don't incur losses due to damages to the equipment.
In fact, of late, the lighting system has been collapsing our jobs, our businesses. Sometimes you'll be here in the morning and we will not get light to work. You sit here around 12 o'clock to 11, to 12 to, how do you call it, to 3 before we get light to start working. And that time, how many hours can you work before you get home? It's collapsing our work, collapsing our business. So we are pleading to the authorities that they should try as much as possible to help us so that the lights will be stable. I last time heard about news that they were saying that they are working on it till the end of December or so, which is very bad. You see, during Muhammad's time, we were complaining that doom so. But right now, they are saying it's no more doom so. But what is it happening right now? Within a short period, they will just take off the lights and they will just bring it, which is almost similar to the doom so that we were experiencing some years ago.
To say no so dear, to say the machines need a say an SSA. So, or mudum no maso, and your bonnet near when you sue a moto. So, and say I never blow, it's me blow my musieba. So, I was experienced with press baby or a judge me at home. So, Tiasra Bani said, doom son of cried and Corbeya, a send a senka, or the on my timetable. So, Tien say be a bob at 12, I be doom near doom your machine. So, I am Basabia. Sa judge here near Ibabasians. Is there my friends in the human they say there? So far, they are sacred.
While we are still not sure how to deal with these intermittent power outages, ECG is saying something about increasing tariffs. So, will you pay? Should we pay? But the free water and the free electricity that we enjoyed, no, never mind. Let's hear the judgments by ECG for such an increment.
According to globalpetrolprices.com, a website that publishes energy data from countries around the world, as of September 2020, the price of electricity in Ghana was $0.064 per kilowatt hour for households and $0.139 for businesses. The amount included all components of the electricity bill, such as the cost of power, distribution, and taxes. For many months now, many individuals and groups have asked the government to reduce electricity tariffs in the country. At the initial stages of the coronavirus pandemic in Ghana, the government announced the free provision of water and electricity for lifeline and household customers. After the water and electricity relief packages for Ghanaians ended in December 2020, the government continued the free supply of the said utilities this year for the vulnerable to reduce the impact of the pandemic on their livelihoods. Nevertheless, there were still calls for a reduction in utility tariffs in the country. Amidst the constant calls for the reduction in tariffs, the managing director of ECG, Kwame Ajiman-Budu, has disclosed that processes are underway for an increment in tariffs.
That one select up to PRC, because no matter what we will propose, it's work in progress. It's work in progress. You upgrade, you need money to do it. So it will be prudent to say yes, that if we get the increase, we will love it.
Still in the energy sector, did you know that Ghana loses billions of Ghana cedis to fuel smuggling? For some analysts, the country might not need to impose new taxes if we could seal this loophole. But anyway, government is doing something about it. A monitoring system to check such illegal activities has been launched. If it works, the country will have more money to spend on equally important sectors of the economy. Fingers crossed.
Illegal activities within Ghana's petroleum downstream sector have been a source of worry for many stakeholders over the years. The activities, which include the growing occurrences of petroleum smuggling, dumping of untaxed products, and the adulteration of petroleum products, has been described as dangerous. Its effects on the country's petroleum sector has been disturbing, as these stakeholders have been calling on government to take steps to quickly end these activities. Already, data from the Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors has revealed that the government and the people of Ghana lost 1.9 billion Ghana cedis to tax evasion in 2019. Also, institutions such as the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, COPEC, and the Association of Oil Marketing Companies earlier called on government to seal the revenue leakages. As part of efforts aimed at eliminating the illicit activities associated with the transportation and effective distribution of petroleum products across the country, government has introduced the National Retail Outlet Fuel Monitoring System. The system will also help reduce revenue losses within the petroleum downstream sector. Speaking at the launch, Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia hinted that the move is an effective system which is essential to the economic growth of the country.
NPA, the CEO of the Bulk Oil Distributors, Chief Executive Officer of the Association of Oil Marketing Companies, the Chief Inspector, Madam Esther Anku, captains of industry, the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to you all. I'm honored to be here and very excited actually to be here as a special guest of honor for the launch of the National Retail Outlet Fuel Monitoring System introduced by the NPA. I'm informed, of course, I'm aware of the hard work that has gone into putting this initiative together, and I'm very glad to see it come to fruition. You've seen the system that was shown us, and we were given an interview, an overview by Mr. Francis Bullen, who has been the consultant for the project. Thank you very, very much. And I just want to applaud the former CEO and the board and the staff of NPA. You keep raising the bar and higher. I'm very, very excited about what you are doing. This innovation by the NPA will not just improve the petroleum product distribution system, but it will also go a long way towards the Ghana Beyond Aid agenda. It certainly would help the government in its effort to maximize revenue mobilization from petroleum products. Taxes and levies on petroleum products are major sources of revenue for government in pursuing its development agenda. Actions, decisions, and policies of individuals and corporate bodies which result in petroleum product distribution leakages and associated revenue losses to the state have serious negative effects on the development agenda of government. In fact, between 2015 and 2019, it is estimated that government lost a total of 4.7 billion Ghana cedis in tax revenue as a result of illegal activities in the petroleum downstream sector. And this sector has been bedeviled. The illegal activities take place because there's a lack of transparency in many of the activities across the value chain.
He also charged oil marketing companies to halt third-party distribution of petroleum products.
We are tasking the MPA with immediate effect to halt the granting of third-party supplies of oil marketing companies who are in good standing, extending supplies to heavily indebted OMCs that are determined to evade the payment of statutory levies. So once we say no third-party supplies, you will know that this matter will be dealt with immediately.
We turn our attention now to the banking sector and to some pretty bright news. Did you know that some banks actually made profits last year despite all the issues the COVID-19 pandemic came with? Which banks could this be? And what could they have done differently? I confer on their managements the right to become motivational speakers. They have actually earned it. Well, our next video has the details.
ADB Bank, out of the 10 banks reviewed by Citi Business News, saw an increase of about 340% in its profit, the highest jump from 2019 to 2020. The bank ended 2019 and 2020 with profits of about 14.8 million Ghana cedis and 65 million Ghana cedis respectively. The consolidated bank Ghana saw its profit drop the steepest out of the 10 banks reviewed, which is about 33%, reducing from about 70 million Ghana cedis in 2019 to 46 million Ghana cedis in 2020. A bank like Ecobank Ghana, with one of the largest asset bases in the banking sector, saw profits further improve by about 23% from over 440 million Ghana cedis in 2019 to over 540 million Ghana cedis in 2020. GCB Bank's profits only increased marginally by about 4% from about 420 million in 2019 to about 440 million in 2020. Other banks like Standard Chartered, Zenith and Access, however, saw profits soar by over 30% from 2019 to 2020. Standard Chartered Bank, for example, saw their profits jump by about 70% from 281.9 million Ghana cedis in 2019 to about 478 million in 2020. Access Bank and Zenith Bank saw similar percentage increases in their profits, about 38%, with profits of Access Bank rising to over 240 million Ghana cedis in 2020 from over 170 million in 2019, while Zenith Bank ended 2020 with about 340 million Ghana cedis in profit from about 245 million in 2019. Even though its profit numbers were still high in 2020, over 250 million Ghana cedis, Fidelity Bank still saw its profitability wane slightly by about -3% from about 260 million Ghana cedis in 2019. Overall, the central bank in its assessment of the banking sector performance in 2020 stated that the industry somewhat withstood the first wave of the COVID-19 pandemic shock on the back of strong policy support and regulatory reliefs. The sector, according to the Bank of Ghana, remained well capitalized, liquid and profitable, with strong buffers to withstand adverse shocks and support economic recovery efforts.
Imagine Imagine if you can get all the understanding on some of the difficult subjects you struggle with in school. As a student, do you feel dissatisfied with how hard it is to figure out the subjects you're learning? Or as a parent or guardian, do you worry that your child is struggling to understand some of the subjects in school? Well, now you don't need to sign up for extra lessons or tutors. Simply tune in to Class Act, Mondays to Thursdays at 5:30 p.m. on Citi TV. Class Act is a show that seeks to enable senior high school students gain a much better understanding of what they learn in school. All you need is a TV, a chair, your notebook, and your pen. Get clarity on subjects such as maths, English, IT, and science. Class Act airs every Monday to Thursday at 5:30 p.m. on Citi TV on DSTV channel 363 and GoTV channel 182. Don't forget your pens, pencils, and your notebooks and tune in to Class Act, only on Citi TV.
There are those with untold stories, unraveled feats, life-changing stories, and lasting legacies. They tell their stories themselves on footprints.
Yes.
Oh, champion. Well, we are taking the step. Unfortunately, he was dragging the country into an abyss.
Yeah.
So we saw it. But they held power, the guns and so forth. Who were we to? We just watched. But by, I believe, 74-5, the country was seeing through him. That this man was a total misfit.
But he was a happy man.
But because in Akan there's a proverb. It's a kwasia na no so nsu so chati.
Be inspired by their hard work and resilience that led to their outstanding achievements as we trace their footsteps through time.
Lincoln, we have one of our, school member died or whatever, so we have to go there and perform during the funeral, whatever. And then I was feeling thirsty, so there was but those days it's not like pure water or whatever. They sell the water in a bottle. Yeah, stuff like that. So there was a bottle there. I thought it was just a water. No, it was aquateshi, So I just took it. When I drank it, before I realized, Charlie. So what happened to me? I'm like, Charlie, I'll never touch it. So since then, I've never touched alcohol.
Okay, so you didn't drink alcohol, and you never smoked?
Smoked, no way. No.
Really?
Never.
Wow.
Never.
Then who comes out of the car? Chachu Chikata and Kojo Chikata. And the Chachu told me that they have, Kojo was sick since the morning and he has been tortured and whatnot, and they have come for a medical attention. Of course, naturally, I have to look after them, even though they are very close relatives. So I look at Kojo, I examine him, I notice that he's definitely been tortured. And, there was blood, deep-seated blood in the ears. You can see that clearly.
So join me, Samuel Atamensa, and my guests every Saturday at 9 a.m. and Sundays at 4 p.m. for Footprints, only on Citi TV.
Footprint is sponsored by Bethel Logistics Company Limited, experts in shipping logistics.
You now know which banks did well. We hope they get even better. Who doesn't like a good bank? But how was your Easter though? I'm not sure whether to even ask you if it was fun, especially when restrictions on social gatherings are still in place. Anyways, it's not like there was even a lot of extra cash to spare to chill. Well, businesses were also affected by all of this too. A lot of them complained about very low sales. Here is what hotels and poultry farmers had to say about business this Easter season.
Hotel businesses in Ghana are still grappling with the impact of the coronavirus pandemic. Hoteliers have continuously recorded historical low room occupancies, resulting in low profit margins. Government, realizing the impact of the pandemic on the sector, announced a plan to provide a corporate income tax rebate of 30% to companies hard hit by the COVID-19 pandemic for the second to fourth quarters of 2021. Targeted companies included those in the accommodation and food services, education, arts and entertainment, and travel and tour operators. The Christmas season and the 2020 elections, however, brought some respite to the industry, but the respite has been short-lived. Even though Easter season has not normally been a busy time for hoteliers, this year's situation has been way below normal. President of the Ghana Hotels Association, Dr. Edward Aka-Nyamike, in a Citi Business News interview, indicated that just a handful of hotels were able to make some gains during this year's Easter season.
We have a lot of people who travel to their villages and hometowns to celebrate Easter, and for those who stay behind, a lot of them prefer to spend the holidays at home with their families, so room occupancy is usually average, and this year is no exception. And together with COVID-19, room occupancy has been generally low during these festivities. However, for hotels who offered special lunch, special dinners, poolside activities, and other social gathering services, they witnessed some patronage and therefore cashed in during the period. But when it comes to room occupancy, like I mentioned, it was generally low. Of course, you would have pockets of hotels who by some pre-arrangements and bookings will have high occupancy during the period, but that cannot be representative of the general picture on the ground.
Meanwhile, the narrative has not been any different with poultry farmers in the Greater Accra region. The farmers say the Easter festivity did not present its usual business flow as happened in previous years. The association is, however, hopeful of an increase in egg sales to clear an existing glut following a relatively low purchase during the Easter season. The Greater Accra chairman of the association, Michael Nyako Ampim, says the association members are looking forward to brisk business after the muted Easter season.
On the whole, I would say that Easter holidays, the business was muted. I don't want to put any percentage on it, but I would say muted. It wasn't as exciting as one would have loved to have it. But we look forward to an exciting year 2021 and probably a more exciting year Easter 2022. So we are hopeful, we are pragmatic, and we are well aware that we are dealing with an unseen enemy. But in the midst of it, business must go on for workers to stay in employment, and for employees, or for employers actually, for employers to be able to also keep the employees.
Are you planning on engaging the services of building contractors, electrical engineers, and plumbers, among others? Please check if they are registered with the Engineering Council. If they are not, then they are most likely quacks. Now, we will not give chance to any fake persons so they come and waste our time and money with their shoddy work, which a lot of the times put our lives at risk.
The Engineering Council is a legal regulatory body established in 2011 to ensure sanity in the practice of engineering in Ghana. The law establishing the council took effect from October 30, 2020, following the passing of LI 2410, which regulates the practice of engineering in the country. The regulation allowed for a 12-month grace period, after which all engineers must be licensed to practice their trade. The council is mandated to open a number of engineering registers within all spheres of engineering and regulate the practices of engineers across the country. Addressing a press conference earlier today at the Ministry of Works and Housing, engineer and lawyer Ebenezer Hazel called on the public to help ensure compliance with the law.
The regulations further encourages that practicing craftsmen without certificates will be required by law to work under a certified craftsman. In fact, the public is educated not to engage people who are not registered with the council, who we will consider them to be quack.
The Minister of Works and Housing, on his side, promised to resource the council to ensure the body delivers on its mandate.
Effective regulation of engineering is a basic requirement in any country. Ghana has witnessed a number of engineering challenges in the past. Some good examples are roads and bridges that are not living up to design expected life. Inadequate hydraulic structures on waterways resulting in localized flood, and building structural failure resulting in loss of life. The theme, as rightly touches on the need to have laws, regulations to enforce standards, and to regulate the practice of engineering in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ministry of Works and Housing will work hard to resource the Engineering Council in order to strengthen monitoring and evaluation of the performance of the engineering practitioners.
Acting Chairman of the Council, Engineer Kwesi Abesam, in his address to the Council, declared 2021 the year of no tolerance for quack engineers.
The Council declares 2021 a year of action. With our licensed bodies, we are going to license and register as many as those identified in the Act and regulations.
The board chair further reiterated the call for the public to only engage the services of professionally certified engineers.
The Engineering Council also called for the general public, employers of engineering practitioners, and all persons who procure engineering works, goods, and services to ensure that they deal with only duly registered practitioners, contractors, consultants, or vendors of engineering equipment and components.
Fine gold it is. Now, just as the Ghana Cocoa Board is the only body allowed to buy cocoa in the country, the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, is proposing a similar model for gold. The minister is confident that this will help reduce illegal exporting of gold. But not everybody thinks it's a great idea. The Chamber of Mines has some concerns.
Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta, during the second day of his vetting, proposed a shift from the liberal system of gold buying and export in the country, where several companies have been registered to buy gold mainly from small-scale miners, to the use of a cocoa board model, which will see one body buying and exporting gold produced in Ghana. The model, according to the minister, will curb illegal exportation of the precious mineral, but the Chamber of Mines is urging caution. According to the Chamber, such practice in the past was blamed for gold gluts and the smuggling of the mineral. CEO of the Chamber of Mines, Suleiman Nukone, in a Citi News interview, advised the Ministry of Finance to review the history of sole gold buyers in Ghana and ensure that the leakages are blocked properly.
What we've had in the past was something similar to this. In the past, what we had was PMMC as the sole buyer of all gold. So, yes, you could give out license to people to actually produce gold, but willy-nilly you had to bring it to PMMC before you can export. That was the model we had. It worked up to a point, but then government at the time also realized that there were issues. Reports of smuggling, that people produce and then they are smuggled without going through PMMC. So the question is, how do we do it? So government decided to open up. You get what I mean? So PMMC itself at the time could license buyers to go to the field and buy for them, and then they can export. But it worked up to a point. Because of the challenges, I remember Minerals Commissioner at the time expressing concern that there appeared to be a glut in production by small-scale miners, which were not being bought. And it provided fertile ground for miscreants to go and buy off these small-scale miners. So what did the Minerals Commission decide to do? They decided to liberalize and allow private people to go in there and go and buy and then also export. So that we have a history of how this has been done. What we need to do is to study it properly, closely, and find the best model. This may work, it may not work, But at the end of the day, it's about making sure that we reduce the leakages.
Mr. Suleiman Okone, however, indicated the excitement of the chamber at the news of the government making moves to enhance security within the mining industry.
One of the key things we actually smiled about was government's intention to support the industry to provide security for its assets and its people. Security is a major issue for the industry. So if there's nothing at all within the budget which made us smile, at least this was quite comforting for us. And we are quite grateful to government for giving us that assurance. We have done a lot of background work. We continue to engage the duty bearers, and hopefully very soon we should be able to have a deployment of police, well-trained police at the respective mines to complement the private security our member companies already have on the mines.
1, 2, 3, several bags of cement. But if you were to check in a similar shop in the northern region, it will look something like this. Literally empty. There's been a shortage of the product in the region. I'm wondering how people who are building are coping and how frustrating it is for cement dealers there too.
A visit to some cement retailer shops revealed empty shops with wheelbarrows and benches occupying the space. A cement dealer, Suleiman Najamfo Osman, tells Citi Business News he has run out of stock due to the irregular supply of the product.
For the demand is there, but the supply is the problem. Because actually people look for cement and then don't get. So most often you call and then they will tell you that it's the factory. So they said they ran out of powder or whatever, stores all over. So because of that, you don't get supply on time.
Camille and Sharif, who are both dealers, are in the same situation. According to them, customers who visit their shops for the product just leave disappointed. As demand increases with a fall in supply by producers, the price of a bag of cement in the metropolis keeps rising. This, according to retailers, applies to all the cement brands on the market.
I sell Diamond brand and Gassem. As at the time I got stock, I was selling Diamond 45 series and Gassem Super Strong, if you know the difference, 47 Ghana series. So now that the price has increased, we are told, I have not gotten stock, so we are told that now Diamond brand is now 4950 series, and that of Gassem and Dangote is now 52, 53. So have you seen the increment? And this is the first time I must say that cement has increased beyond, that abnormal range. That is from, it was 41 and now it's getting to 50, 51 series. So this is the first time that cement has increased beyond that range.
Cement is not available. It's very scarce. We have paid for a trip about 2 weeks now. Up to now, we have not gotten even a bag to sell in our store. We don't know. They said there is shortage. The last time we sold cement here, it was Gassem, and it was 47 cedis a bag.
For Abubakari Hudu, a block maker, the current scarcity and the price hike means an increment in the price of his design blocks.
Because of the increment of the cement, we have to increase our products. Like this one is a slab for the floor. So now we used to sell it 6 cedis. Now we are selling it 8 cedis. Because if we don't increase the price, we can't get anything. This one, we used to sell it 2 cedis. Now we are selling it 3 cedis. Because if we don't sell it that, we can't get anything. This one, we used to sell it 30 cedis. Now we are selling it 40 cedis. Because if we don't sell it that, we can't get anything. This one, we used to sell it 120. Now we are selling 140. Or quarter, we can sell it to someone 130. Because if we don't sell it that, we can't get anything. Because of the increment of the price of the cement. So, and we don't know the reason why the price has been increasing every day. Every day the price is increasing. It has shot now. We don't know whether it has come, it will increase or not. So we don't know what is going on.
So unless maybe we don't know who we are going to talk to, because if you say this, maybe you say and someone will say you are insulting people or what. So that's why we keep quiet. Because I can say it doesn't affect me, the one who is producing. It affects the final consumer. Because that fellow will buy and go and finish his work. So me, I will increase and he will also come and buy. So it's the final consumer who is going to suffer from all these things.
Perhaps it is time for producers to double their production as the country continues to grow and demand for housing and other infrastructure increases.
Now, our next story from the Bunu region is an interesting and worrying one. Can you believe that with all the lands we have in the country, we are not able to produce enough nuts for a processing plant in the region? The issue is so bad that the facility that has the capacity to produce 300 tons of nuts a day is only doing about 20%. The Ghana Nuts Company Limited is presently the largest employer in the region and has about 40% of its employees as women. This is a major concern.
The Ghana Nuts Company Limited has been in operation in the Bono East region for about 20 years now and processes shea nuts and soya beans mainly for export. Supply of raw materials, however, has been a major challenge for the agri-processing company, forcing it to operate under capacity.
So as a company, you have over 2,000 employees, and then somewhere along the line, middle of the year, you are short of raw material. And then we are then being forced to travel to some places like Burkina Faso, to Niger, and then also even as far as to Benin, Nigeria, to go and buy raw materials. As it gets here, then you know the prices then be going up. So if you have the youth around Techiman and or the Bron and Hafo region, if they can produce the raw material for you, then I think that is what we are looking for.
The group's CEO further stated that cost of electricity has been a challenge.
Yeah, electricity has also a big challenge for us. As at now, I think we pay over 200,000 Ghana cedis a month. So if the government can also look at the way of maybe giving us some incentive, I think we'll be very happy.
Currently, the company is operating at a 20% capacity. In a tour of the facility on Wednesday, the Bono East Regional Minister, Kwesi Edujan, stated that the current outgrower scheme has failed the country. He further stated that he intends on applying creativity, innovation, and technology to help solve the raw material challenges such companies face.
I'm told that their soya nut processing has been closed down. It did some time ago, 2017, I'm told, but they were able to get it up and running a little bit. But now it has become so difficult that they cannot even move forward. Okay? I know that if they are empowered and they have those resources, there is no doubt in my mind that they will be able to produce to capacity. They will create jobs, okay? And then their social responsibility, corporate social responsibility, and other things will help uplift the image of the region. We all do know that the outgrowing scheme that we have currently in Ghana has failed the country. So we intend to bring creativity, innovation, and technology that will enable us to embark on an outgrower scheme that will be more attractive to the youth. An outgrower scheme that factory owners will have confidence in. An outgrower scheme that the youth who are doing it will also have trust that they will have a sustainable income, a stable income. If we are able to get this thing done, an outgrowing scheme that will enable landowners to have equity in the process, an outgrower scheme that will be attractive for donor organizations, for financial institutions, and also for angel investors to come in so that together we can sow and reap at the end.
Citi TV is live. On DSTV, go to channel 363. On GoTV, access Citi TV on channel 182. On a digital TV, please press the menu button on the remote control and run a new search on your TV. Take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Citi TV on your television. Citi TV can be accessed on a free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and StarTimes box. Citi TV, it's your world.
It's inspiration. It's the word. The teachings.
When is your time? When is your season? When is your turn? No amount of lies, no amount of liars, political liars, financial liars, family liars, hatred or spiritual liars, no amount of it can stop you.
Tune in to Voice of Inspiration with Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams every Sunday at 6:30 p.m. on Citi TV.
Let these words inspire.
Youth unemployment is a national issue, especially now when COVID-19 has made a lot of people lose their jobs. There's a member of parliament who is implementing a project that is helping the youth in his constituency scale the wall of unemployment by putting them through skills training. I think that's very impressive. Think about one MP, one employment project, and how much of a difference that could make across the country. Anyways, Mr. MP, kudos to you for the good work. I know you want to know who this MP is. Check this out.
When 26-year-old Halimatu Sadia Abdelmumin finished senior high school, she decided to learn some skills.
Well, I choose to do this because I was kind of being home all the time and I had nothing doing. So in this our generation, if you're a lady and you don't have anything doing, you are not respected. So you have to get a work to do so that you can be your own boss. Like, people will respect you. Even if a man should get married to you, he will know you already have your own handwork doing and you get the honor you want. So that is the reason why I am here today.
Majority of young females like Halima and their other male counterparts in the Asakwarimampo municipality are unemployed. The youth who are unable to pursue their education due to financial barriers either learn a trade or venture into skills training. Getting finances to venture into these avenues remains a challenge for these unemployed youths.
Most of the times, it's like our parents can't afford it. If your parents cannot afford money for you to go into something, like if you have just like I said, you have the passion, but you don't have the money to go into it. And even if you go, you don't have money for feeding on those stuff. Maybe let's say you are staying far away from where you work. You don't have transportation and those stuff. You have to struggle before you get to the work. You can't come to work every day without getting something to eat. And you have to come and go, those stuff. So it's more disturbing.
An initiative by the Asawasi Member of Parliament is creating opportunities for the youths in the constituency with the aim of reducing unemployment. Shop owners who are masters at hairdressing salons, tailoring and dressmaking shops are engaged under the model to train interested youths.
MP Emame and Kra semi training because I'm crying be your mutimi baha so mu besu adwuma by scanner wo beka se wo gere onya nti obeti maka cho se me kwa ba nso won ma biem ba wo hwe nipa na otimu se na ni je ho se adwuma no nko obesu nti MP Fred to ye nu se enka opese ye boa enkra no me nso meje pene ye de Emame Krama me nkra 16 me am nso me o me nkra dada me kuta nkra almost be 25.
Aside from enrolling these youths to learn a skill, the Aswansi MP, Alhaji Muntaka Mubarak, is also providing equipment to these beneficiaries to enable them set up on their own after passing out.
So what you've seen today is one of the presentations that we've been doing for the past 5 years, where we try to encourage the youth who are dropping from school, either because their results is not good. I mean, they've tried written several times, they are not making headway, but they have talent in other areas to support them so that they can develop their skills. And so you've seen that we did in 2 parts. Those that we are put into under training, we are giving them the hand sewing machines so that they will start learning. And then those that we are giving them dasher machine are those that have passed out and they are going to be on their own. Because 4 years ago, we gave those ones to the hand sewing machines whilst they were on training. So we did that for shoemakers. I mean, you saw a mason, we gave the hairdressers. So it's one of the strategy that we are trying to adopt so that at least we will help the youth within the constituency. Yes, those who have what it takes to be able to go beyond SS, we are supporting them with financial support to be able to go to school. Then those who cannot go beyond SS and JSS, they must not idle. They must also find something to do. So that's the model that we are adopting.
Young females within the Aswansi constituency say they face several challenges in trying to enroll themselves into skills development, but with the intervention by Member of Parliament for the Aswansi constituency, females like Sadia say they can make a change in the society. For Citi Business News, Hafiz Tijani reporting.
Oh, so that's just one. Anyways, let's end now with this story about some people who are adding value to our local produce to develop our agricultural sector. You know that import substitution is key to developing our economy. Let me mention this while you watch the video.
Over 98% of Ghana's cashew nuts are exported in their raw form to India and Vietnam, where they are processed and re-exported to countries like the United States, Europe, Middle East, and Australia. Mildred realized the absence of Ghanaian brands on the international market and decided to solve it through Royal Cedars, a food processing company that produces all natural healthy snacks like roasted peanuts, cashew nuts, and all protein-rich agushi powder.
Through my travels to the UK, I had the opportunity to work with McVitie's, and then I also had the opportunity to do a master's program in the University of Nottingham, and that gave me the opportunity to do my research at Heinz. While in the UK, I realized that there was very little representation of West African foods on the Western shelves. So typically in the ethnic aisle, you would see the Indian food, you would see the Italian food, you will see Chinese food, but there was very little of African foods in general. And so I said to myself, one day I would love to have a factory that would process really nicely branded, packaged foods and ship outside Ghana, so we can have products that can stand tall with their international counterparts.
Robin and his team founded their processing company Kenyo with the sole purpose of using Ghanaian ingredients to make globally competitive brands.
The idea is really to focus on whatever the Ghanaian and African soul can allow us to plant and to have. And it's a lot, and we tend to forget, and we want to use the facility and import or buy from somebody else in another country. Meanwhile, if we take a little bit more time to do the long process, but long-lasting process, it's better. So yeah.
Though blessed with over 57% agricultural land area, Ghana's inability to develop its agricultural sector has resulted in her importing over $2 billion worth of food each year. Mildred Akotia wants to change this.
Along the value chain, for every peso you invest by buying our product, it's going all the way to the rural community somewhere where women especially, who are the ones who are farming these raw materials and getting involved in these post-harvest handling, it's actually making an impact in their lives. They can support their husbands at home. They can give their children some decent life.
Under the Yaka and Respect brands, Robin and his team have launched a series of products all made with locally sourced natural ingredients. One of these is spirulina.
So the spirulina, it grows in the water. So we pump the water and it goes through a filter where you can separate the hard side and the liquid side. So the liquid will go back to the water, so no waste of water. And the hard side gives you something like a paste, and this paste is actually put onto something that sucks again the water that is inside. The idea is to make this paste into a dry sprinkle. So it's dried like spaghettis, long spaghettis like that on trays, and then dried on low temperature in order to keep all the vitamins and phytonutrients. And after 7 to 8 hours, it's ready to crack like that and to put into bags and package it. So everything is done on the farm itself.
But creating value-added products to solve Ghana's $2 billion food import problem comes with its own set of challenges.
For a raw material like peanuts, the yield can be as low as 30 to 40%. And that's because farming practices are really poor, post-harvest practices are really poor.
Although these companies have created high-quality products and are improving the lives of local farmers, the high cost of credit and cheap imported goods threaten their prospects for growth.
If we can produce here locally jams, I'm doing this for instance, jams, make sure that you can tax the jams that are imported in this nation enough to make my jam competitive. 100%. The rice, same thing. The oil, same thing. All these commodities, same thing. It will just help to motivate the farmer.
When you go into the nitty-gritties of manufacturing, even raw material availability, even quantities of raw materials that are needed, you realize that we do not have much of all these, and there are real issues with processing. I think that we need to be given some incentives, okay, like some reduction in taxes, just to make it more, advantageous over the imported products that are coming in.
All right, it's a wrap. This is where we end the show. Catch you same time next week. Drop us a comment on our Facebook feed. Tell us what you like about the show, how we can make it better. And if you have an interesting site in your area you think we can come around and shoot, do let us know also. Follow me on Twitter at @mobodu. And yeah, Business Dashboard is now at 10 p.m. sharp every weekday with a repeat at 7 a.m. the next day. Don't forget to tune in. And yeah, check out our website, Citi Business News, for regular news updates. My name is Michael Obodu. Thank you for watching. Catch you same time. As always, stay informed, stay safe, and bye-bye.